force, but the common denominators are very simple. It's not very confusing. We don't need a lot of new policies. We don't need to have a lot of meetings to talk about what we need to do to support businesses, and especially small businesses in the state of Delaware. We understand what small businesses need because we are a small business, and we've had small businesses that have been the backbone of this country from the time that it was founded. So we don't need to go back and reinvent any wheel. What we need to do is bring common sense back into the mix, common sense solutions that already are paid for with your taxpayer dollars, to insert them in the equation for the small businesses of Delaware and allow them to find the answer, the straightest path to the what now, what next they need, and to determine whether they got it or not, and if they didn't, we make sure that they did. This is not rocket science, but what it's turned into today is that small businesses, the citizens of Delaware, are supporting big government. And every new program, every new meeting, every new policy, every new regulation is riding on the back of everybody in here and every small business owner in the state of Delaware. How many of you agree this is time to stop that? This is the time to stop that. It is absolute insanity when I think that I, as a citizen, or I, as a small business owner, I'm supporting big government and the next regulation that's about to knock on my door. It is absolute insanity. And that is why we need to insert the conservative voice into the one-party rule that is in Delaware right now. That is why we can take a little letter after a name and say that doesn't really matter anymore anyway, because we all have the same problems. And those we can agree on today. I talked to independents, I talked to Democrats, I talked to tired Republicans that have been out of the loop long enough because they've just been tired of what's happening in Delaware, typically blue state. But this is not your typical election. And so I'm talking to good people up and down the state that are ready to say, you know what, I'm in it with you because you bring common sense solutions to a time in our nation and our state's history where we are in desperate need. We can support small business growth in a very real way, and I just want to give an example of what we intend to do about that in addition to the Small Business Accelerator that we're unleashing this year, but we've been working on that for a couple of years with the state of Delaware. Our nearby neighbor, New Jersey, has a lieutenant governor that we'll be bringing in for a keynote, so you'll all be getting some information on when we expect to bring Lieutenant Governor Kim Guadagno over. But Kim Guadagno actually oversees the red tape cutting department in New Jersey. And when I heard about that, and I heard about the way that regulations are being eliminated that are job killing in New Jersey, and in a measurable way, we knew that we needed to incorporate that kind of best practice into Delaware. And we can do that, and it supports economic growth in a very real way. So these are the kinds of solutions we expect to be bringing into Delaware. This is the way we expect to turn the state around. And we can work with the administration or the new governor, whoever the citizens elect, in order to do this. And the citizens of Delaware should accept no less than anything but the status quo. We have less than 4 months, again, to change what we are going to accept as citizens in the state of Delaware for the next 4 years. I am employing each one of you to do your part of what it will take to turn this state in another direction. I mentioned it to the group that was earlier today. Each one of you has a sphere of influence, a circle of friends. It might be people at your church, it might be people that you work with, it's your neighbor next door, it's the folks that you grew up with that are in the communities that you live in now. But each one of those people can be deployed to tell the next person about who you know that can change what we've got in Delaware, and it is now. It is important to do that now. And you change the climate of your state and what you get for the next 4 years, one vote at a time, and you employ them to volunteer, which is what I'm asking you to do as well today. Every one of you should have gotten a volunteer envelope. That envelope allows you also to support us financially, because how many of you know that is absolutely the finances that fuel the engine that will turn this into a successful race that crosses a finish line in November. My opponent does not even have to try to have several $100,000 in the bank. There are reasons that we need to work together to get our message out to the good people of Delaware who are of every party in the state of Delaware but are simply hungry for a change, and they need to know where it is. We are the change that Delaware expects and deserves, and we need to get that message out together.